get your nerd glasses on, because this is gonna be one of the most valuable videos you have ever seen on how to start a successful online business. I'm gonna reveal in this video a secret tool that I've used for years that have helped me launch campaigns and products on e-commerce and affiliate marketing, and literally minutes after I launched had this result.
Adrian, the Eagles just won and are heading to the Super Bowl, and a massive consumer trend is happening.
Oh my goodness. I launched an ad literally 5 minutes ago. Check this out. 53 people on my site right now. And I'm gonna hit refresh because just within the last 5 minutes, it's 8 orders. And no, this isn't some like lucky trend one-hit wonder thing. I've been able to do it again.
Oh my gosh. Check this out. Today, sales. They're literally every few minutes. It's been going crazy since launch yesterday at like 8-ish p.m. My thumb is hurting. This is insane.
And again.
I cannot believe this.
And again.
Essentially, this tool is going to be able to validate any idea that you have, whether it's for an affiliate, drop shipping, Amazon, whatever business model you pursue, and be able to validate it without spending money. Yes, you heard that right. You can actually see if your idea mathematically is going to have success before you get started without investing in ad spend. The concept is simple, but the result is revolutionary. If numbers aren't your thing, you're gonna have to grab a notepad, maybe hit rewind, because this is gonna be a video about using intelligent data. See, before I used data, I was always a very passionate, energetic entrepreneur, from my dance business to the dozens, if not hundreds of different types of products I've launched over the last decade. And I can admit that every single product I've ever launched, business, website, blog post, I've always had the naive, optimistic outtake that this was gonna be it, the thing that would go viral, or the product that would make 6-7 figures I could retire on and buy my multi-million-dollar home on the beach. But of course, passion can't drive anything, and I came across failure upon failure upon failure. You know how it goes. It took me probably 4 years of like figuring out how to actually spend money on ads to then make that money back and more. And hindsight is always 20/20. I know exactly what I was doing wrong. And I realized this is what most people do. We take our passion, our heart, our energy, and we put it out there on the internet, hoping for the best, seeing what sticks, and unfortunately waste a lot of money running ads. But this mini masterclass, if you will, is gonna solve all that. It's gonna take your awesome passion that you do need, your energy that you do need, but it's gonna put data behind your ideas. I call it my winning idea calculator, and it's amazing because you can literally plug in your idea. And I've made this super simple. After you run your numbers, it's literally gonna turn the color green or red. Green obviously means this is a sick, solid idea, you should go for it. Or it's gonna say red, the data, the math doesn't work, it's on to the next one. Now, I've made this resource completely free, and I'm not even opting in, no upsell type of thing. It's completely free. A link, first link right here you're gonna find in the bio is just gonna be just to download it. It's a Google Sheet. All you have to do is click File, Make Copy, and then now you have it as your own. So download the calculator, get ready to dive in the next 20 minutes into a super nerdy analytical Adrian that you've probably never met before, that's gonna show you my basic philosophy of how I find successful winning product campaigns that even in minutes find profit and cash flow. This calculator I invented is a game changer. It has made me hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's probably saved me from losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. So let's quickly walk through what each of these mean, and then I'm going to show you a real product to plug in with some data if you were to market on Google or Facebook. So first, just going through the columns here, this first column and all these columns you can see in the gray, these are the only numbers that you should change. You do not want to change any other numbers, because look, when I click on here and on this column here, Notice that that's a formula. So scattered throughout these are formulas, except for these gray areas. That's where you actually put in the data that you're seeing or the data that you research. So don't change any of these other buttons except for the gray. So the first one is the cost of product and shipping. So basically this is your overhead if you're drop shipping, or if you are doing affiliate marketing, you can put in these numbers too. So it applies to both. But I'm going to stick with the drop shipping example. And so if your product plus shipping costs $20, that's what the number that you would put in there of just your overhead. This next column is how much you would mark it up on your store. Are you marking it up 2 times? Are you marking it up 3 times? Or you're selling it for 60? And you'll notice just by plugging those numbers in, everything else changes, which I'll get to and explain. So the markup value. So maybe you're not marking it up by 2 or 3 times. Maybe it's 1.5. You're selling it for 30. Cost you 20, selling it for 30. So over here you can see in this column that your profit is $10. But as you know, we are paying for ads. So you have to now factor that in. So this next column is your estimated cost per click. One of my favorite reasons why I start every campaign marketing on Google and then scale to Facebook is that on Google, you can actually research an extremely accurate cost per click. So Facebook, again, I'm going to show you how you can kind of predict this as well, but Google actually will tell you. It's amazing. So now let's just say we're going to mark up by 2 times. And so on our store, we're selling it for $40. So our estimated CPC, just so you can see a couple examples, let's say the estimated CPC is 50 cents. You can plug that there, and that's going to change the numbers. You put 50 cents in here. This is telling you your cost per 100 clicks. And then your final number here is your conversion rate. If you send 100 people to your site, how many of them actually buy? Do any of them buy? Is it 0? That's not good. What if just 1 person buys if you send 100? Then your number is going to look like that. What if 2 people buy? That's a 2% conversion rate. 3 and 5. So let me walk through this number. So if your estimated CPC is 50 cents, it's going to cost you $50 to get 100 qualified people to your site. And if your conversion rate is 5%, that means your estimated cost per acquisition is $10. Now, let's see if we mess this around and we add it to your conversion rate 6%. Obviously, your cost per acquisition is going to go down because you have a higher conversion rate. But let's say it's bad. Let's say it's a 2% conversion rate. So now let's talk about our next columns, because now we can see the differences between, we have these 3 rows here. Profit loss on 1 sale. Then the second column is 1.5 times AOV and 2 times AOV. So let me explain what that means. If you haven't been taught this before, the entire game of e-commerce and what creates success, there's really some numbers that you have to understand. Woo! Quick break, because damn, that is some nerdy stuff. I just want to interject here and say math is nothing to be afraid of. It's actually your best friend. The 3 most important numbers, as just mentioned. In order to be a streamlined e-commerce operation, a master marketer, you have to know about how much it costs to get a customer. You have to know what the average order value is of that customer, and you have to know the customer lifetime value. And when you master those 3 numbers, you can consider yourself in the 1% of every single person who has the job title of marketing in it, in that category, because most marketers have no idea. Back to the calculator. So this column right here is calculating your profit or loss. If you were to sell 1 item at the average order value, if that is what it equals. So in this case, it would equal exactly $40. If you sell just 1 of those items at the list price of $40, knowing that your estimated cost per click is 50 cents and your conversion rate is just 2%, that means every single order you get in, you're actually going to lose $5. But hold on for a second. Let's say you are doing some type of upsell or cross-sell or downsell. And your average order value is actually 1.5 times your list price. So that's basically 1.5 times $40. Then that means every single sale you would actually make $5 in profit. If that doesn't make sense, let's try this next column here. So basically, another way to say this is if every order that you got in, if every person bought 2 of the items instead of just 1, so that would be specifically every person comes in, they buy, instead of buying 1, which is going to be a $40 sale, they buy 2, it's an $80 sale. That means every single order that comes in with the estimated CPC being 50 cents and the conversion rate of just 2%, you're actually going to make a profit of $15. And again, taking a look here at the right, which is your estimated CPA, cost per acquisition, of $25. That's how these numbers lay out. So this is pretty fascinating things already. And I want you to stay with me because this is where you can actually forecast revenue. And when I put this together, why I put this together is because I felt like there was a lot of guessing in Facebook and Google and just not knowing. I kind of was just throwing money out there and be like, I hope this works. And if it does work, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should scale, and I just didn't have a lay of the land. So check this out. Let's make our numbers a little better. Let's say our conversion rate's 3%. So again, if our conversion rate's 3% and our CPC is 50 cents, it's going to cost us every $17 we spend in ads, theoretically, we should get 1 sale. When that 1 sale comes in, if it's just at the normal list price, I'll make $3 in profit. If I have a little bit of an upsell in there, I'll make $13.33 in profit. And if every person ends up buying 2, I'll actually make $23 in profit off every order. So these next rows go into if you were to scale. If you were to sell 10 orders at that normal list price, and what I've calculated here, because I'm a very conservative planner, is I put 5% returns or refunds. So this number, in other words, is if you sold 10 orders, and those 10 people, they didn't take your upsell or your cross sell, they just had that normal sale of $40. After 10 orders and minus 5 returns, 5% returns, you would actually be a profit of $32. If you sold 25, with the same rules, you'd be at a profit of $79. If you sold 50, $158. And if you sold 100 of those items, factoring again a 5% refund rate, which is, I think, pretty industry standard, you would make a profit of $317. And now these next columns and rows do the exact same thing. They're taking a average order value of 1.5. So that means that when someone buys this $40 item, they're getting something else, which is bumping your AOV. And the math played out if that happened 10 times, if that happened 25 times, if that happened 50 or 100. And then again, this is where you can really start to really bump up your profit if you can increase your average order value, but if you could double it basically. Instead of, they're not just buying 1 item, they're buying 2 items, both equal at $40. Even with the minus 5% refund, if you sold 100 at this rate, you're up $2,217. Pretty amazing. Okay, so here's something that people never talk about. Coaches don't talk about, gurus don't talk about, and this is where I think there's this big deception in the game. I'm going to get a little riled up here, but these coaches, these gurus, they're telling you, test, 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 test. You'll eventually find a winner. But how much do you have to actually spend? How much do you have to basically research and test? And how deep of a pocket is that going to be? I mean, is it $100 that you're going to research to find this winning equation? Is it 1,000? I mean, how do you know that? And part of this, this is a calculator. It's creating projections, but it's not a psychic calculator. So one thing I've added in here, you can see this red. In my opinion, I teach all my students this way. I don't sell them this pipe dream that they're going to create one ad and they're going to make $1 million. I'm realistic. I tell them you're going to fail, but when you create ads, because it's data driven, you're going to feel confident that the math worked, and that's why you decide to spend your own money on ads. And what this section is right here is the initial lost testing budget. Because look at these numbers in the green. This is amazing. If you were able to find this product, mark it up by double, have a 3% conversion rate, which isn't a lot, and your CPC averaged 50 cents, after 100 orders, let's say I think 1.5 is a pretty average AOV you can bump up just by being a little smart. After 100 orders, you could have $1,266 in profit. That's not bad. And this initial lost testing budget means, you probably didn't find this product and it probably wasn't profitable on day one. You probably tested 10 other products to get here. And a lot of coaches don't tell you that, right? They prey on the hopes and dreams of us, of me, of you. I've been scammed too, of just encouraging us that we're going to launch something that's going to be a winner right away. And they never talk about, well, actually how much money it costs in testing. So what this column is right here is the initial testing budget. And I'll take this, and I'm looking at these numbers, I'd be really damn proud of this. If I spent $250 on selling a bunch of stuff that didn't work, but then I found this, and this was my math, this is great. This is awesome. Even to get here. And again, I could have put bigger numbers in here. Like I could say, let's say we marked it up 3 times. Now look at my numbers, right? But I'm just being realistic here, and I am going to pick a product that we can actually do this with to see. A product that I actually sold, and it did really awesome. So this is exactly how these numbers work. And so you put your initial loss testing budget in here. Let's say it's a big one. Let's say it took $500 to research and test a bunch of products, and then you found we would call this your winner. Well, how many orders is it going to take for you to dig yourself up out of that initial testing budget? And that's what this section is for. So I put $500 in here. In other words, it took me $500 in order to find this winning product, which is working. In that case, the number of sales it would take to break even selling at the normal list price would be 21 days. Let me move this back down. The normal, if it was only a markup of 2, it would take 150 days, right? Just to break even on this. That's obviously not good math. And here's the thing. The whole point is this calculator, because people don't realize this. They never plug in the numbers. Now, this one's a little better here. The number of sales it would take to break even selling at 1.5 your average order value, which is $40. Then it would take 38 days. And I say a lot of people think too much in terms of get rich quick. I launched an ad yesterday and I haven't made a sale. And you guys got to think way more long-term than that, right? 38 days, I'd be pretty damn proud. If I launched something brand new and 38 days later, I knew that every future sale was going to be profit. And I dug myself out of a $500 hole. Pretty awesome. So that's a lay of the land. Obviously, this last column is the same thing, except that's going to be if your AOV is double your list price, which is possible, but I think is not the norm. I think if you are a smart marketer and you understand your customer, getting a 1.5 bump on your average order value is definitely possible. If every single customer is just buying one thing, then I think that is something to learn and try to study more on how you can increase each order value, because it shouldn't just be list price. So let's break down a real product. Quick story using this testing calculator. I kid you not. I use this testing calculator for every single campaign that I launch. And if you can see right here, there is a framed pink beanie, and you can see a Shopify Masters logo. This is a homemade plaque here, and using this calculator, my initial research and testing budget was literally $100. And I started on Google, so technically it was only $25 because there's a way that you can get free ad spend when you create a new ad account. And it became so successful. Using this simple math, I knew exactly how much I could scale, and I was constantly testing it with the numbers about how much I could spend, and it generated $18K in 30 days. And I kid you not, I have countless amount of these stories where I'm using such a small budget, but my math and my research is so good that within the first 10 clicks, I've gotten sales. And here's what's crazy, because I teach people, I've had students who literally have had sales within their first 3 clicks. 2 clicks is the record. But it's crazy that you can actually launch something, and because of all the data, because you ran the numbers, because you did the research, your ad pops up to someone that's so qualified that they buy within a few clicks. It's insane. Gone are the days of gambling online with ads. And sticking with theme of what I just shared, let's work these numbers with the pink beanie. So $4.70 is what my cost of product is, plus the shipping, which was free shipping from there. Oh, and this is going to round up to just to $5. Again, things are really conservative. And I was selling it around $20 to $25 at the time. So I'm going to put a let's do 4.5. Let's look at that there. 4.7. So I'll just put at $22. So my markup was 4.7. So my list price was $22, making my profit of 17. My estimated cost per click was actually lower than 50 cents. It was around 30 cents, sometimes even lower. But I am just going through the motions as I did before I launched this campaign. I played around. I did the research. And we can look up. So now I'm in Google. And one of my favorite things about it is I can plug in a keyword, and it's going to tell me basically how much my average CPC is. So right here, 21 cents. So I put 30 cents. I think that's pretty conservative. And just for sake of example, I'll keep it there. My conversion rate, you know, I am a pretty experienced marketer, and so I put in 5%. However, if you are brand new to the scene, I don't tell my students that they're going to get 5%. I tell them to put a 2 in, 2%. Will you get 5%? I hope so. And as you get better, heck yes, you will. And my campaign for this, my conversion rates were sometimes as high as 15%. But again, just for this calculator, I want to play around with realistic numbers. So at the time, I was running on Google Ads, and so right now, let's say if I didn't know what was going to happen, this is exactly the process that I went in. Notice a lot of green. Average CPC is 30 cents, means after 100 clicks, I would have spent $30, and that would make my estimated CPA at a 5% conversion rate $6. So for every $6 I would spend, and if someone only bought one beanie at $22 regular list price, I'd make a profit of $11. And this is the game where I start to play and get more conservative. So, okay, that's pretty good, but what if Google's wrong? What if it's actually going to be 50 cents? What does that do to my numbers? Hey, it's still looking pretty good. All right, what if it's actually $1? Oh, okay. So now I know in my head, if my CPC ends up being $1, that means I know from the beginning that if I just sell one of these, it's actually going to be a loss of $3. So if my CPC is $1 when I start, that doesn't mean game over. That just means I got to make sure my conversion rate is at least 6%. And this process of what I'm doing and talking through is exactly what strategic marketers and data-driven scientists go through. I'm a data nerd. My background is in market research, and I am damn good at it. And it makes my campaigns so effective. Like, I kid you not. Like, this kind of stuff happens to me when I launch my campaigns. It's like,
Adrian, the Eagles just won and are heading to the Super Bowl, and a massive consumer trend is happening.
and it's all because of research. So let's play around with a couple other things. Let's say $22 ends up being too high. I need to sell it for $14. That's pretty cheap. And I'm just going to bring my CPC down to 30 cents. Oh, interesting. It's still good. So now I'm playing around like this. If I am going to sell my beanie for only $14, which is pretty damn cheap for a beanie, and my estimated CPC is 50 cents, and my conversion rate is 6%, guess what? I actually still make $1 for every sale that comes in. Not bad. If it's 5%, I'm down. So I'm going to play one last thing. I'm going to go back to 30 cents, and I'll put my conversion rate low at, let's do 3, 4. So here's, I think, another look at some realistic numbers here. $5 for cost of product. That's not going to change. I'm marking up 3 times, so I'm going for a low end, trying to go for high volume here. And my estimated CPC is 30 cents. That's higher than what Google thinks, so that's pretty conservative. I've lowered my conversion rate to 4%, and the math still works out pretty good. If every sale comes in, I will be making $2 a pop profit in the beginning. 1.5 bump AOV, $6.60. And if someone buys 2, damn, profit of $11. Now, let's say I tested like all kinds of beanies that weren't pink. And let's say that cost me $250. So now I'm looking at these numbers, and I'm realizing, whoa, if I spent $250 in testing and the number of sales it would take for me to break even selling at list price, it's going to take me 132 days to get my money back. Okay, that's not going to work. Now I need to go back to the calculator and run this stuff again, and I need to change it. $14, even if it's a lot of conversions, like, I'm just estimating I'm going to spend $250 to get here. I need to bump that up. So I'm going to do a 5, mark it up quantity. I'm going to keep the CPCs because that's going to stay pretty consistent. I feel like I don't want to lower that. I don't want to make my calculator look better than it is, than it's actually going to be. The whole point of this is trying to make it as realistic as possible. And I'm going to move my conversion rate up back to 5 because I think I can do that. My numbers look pretty solid. At 5, let's go 4. Even at 4% conversion rate, look good. Even at 3%, nice. So I'm thinking this is where I want to list my beanie because it makes the numbers look really good. So check this out. Now, if I spend $250 and in my research, I tested a black beanie and a white beanie and I don't know, all these different beanies. And I finally found my winner, which was the pink beanie, which actually didn't happen in real life. I knew this was going to be hot, and it worked from day one, but just being realistic. And I'm going to look at this middle column here because I know I can, if someone's buying one beanie, I know I can upsell them another beanie or a scarf or something, right? So I'm thinking as I go and I'm doing the research and I find this, I know in the back of my mind so much more data and information that makes me feel pretty damn good about moving forward. I know that even if I spend $250 and don't make one sale, but then I find this, and the numbers work out where the estimated CPC is 30 cents, my conversion rate's 3%, so low. I'm really being extremely conservative on this. It's going to take me between 14 and 28 days to recoup my initial testing budget. And when that happens, the next 10 orders that come in at 1.5 AOV, I'm going to make a profit of $172. Moving on, after I sell 50 orders, I'm going to be in a range of $500 to $850 in profit. When I scale this bad boy real big, I'll be at basically around $1,000 in profit. So that is a lay of the land of some extremely conservative numbers. Now I'm going to play these numbers a lot better to how they actually played out in real life. And I think my conversion rate averaged to like 8.5%. My CPC ended up being around 30 cents, but I think it was like 28 if I want to be specific. And my AOV ended up being around 1.5 times. And let's see, I actually did not have a testing budget. It was profitable from day one, and I sold. Maybe I should have put more numbers because I sold, hundreds, 500s, maybe 1,000. I actually have no idea what it was because I did that such a long time ago. But I know my revenue was like around $18,000 in the first 30 days, which was crazy. So my numbers look really good here. You know, after 100 orders, $2,360 in profit. Not a bad thing at all. So this is the winning product testing calculator. It works for Facebook, it works for Snapchat, it works for Twitter, it works for everything, because on every platform now they give you estimates of what the cost is. And for some reason, if you don't know, what your CPC is going to be, launch your ad and you'll know right away. You'll get your couple clicks, and that's where you'll know what your numbers are, and then you can forecast from the beginning. So this calculator, I feel like it's funny. People take my course, and when I tell them and I check in on them, it's like, how's it going? They like, it's like exclamation points, all caps. This calculator is amazing. It makes me like so happy because it's, this whole thing of being an entrepreneur and running ads and drop shipping or affiliate marketing, there's so much sketchiness going on. And a lot of it, I think, why people don't make it is because they don't have confidence in what they're doing. Like, they could be so close, but they just have no idea. And I think if you have this data that backs up your idea to let you know that I'm in the green here, this is a pretty solid decision that I should create an ad, I think that's encouraging enough for you to test and take that risk because you have data that backs it up, versus a guess or intuition. Or usually what I see is like someone is giving really bad advice on a Facebook group about what to do, and then someone who's just learning, that really wants to learn, just takes that advice and applies it, and then they lose money. And I don't want that. I don't want any of my students to lose money. I want them to win. I want them to kill it. I know this tool helps. Congratulations, you made it through the nerdy training, and I hope now you understand the value of data, how to use it, manipulate it, and then actually take that data to say, hey, I've validated my idea. Now I should take the next step, plan of attack, to now taking action on trying to either source the product, run the campaign, launch. Especially if you're just starting out, one of the biggest setbacks is creating the habits to do this on a daily basis. See, I think one thing that I feel like I have a habit now is like working on my side hustles and trying to prioritize and all the things you could do online to the most productive. It's hard when you're basically, I remember when I was working a call center job, making $27,000 a year, clocking out, and this beginning of like after a long day to then work on my side hustle and learn all these things I didn't know about, it was hard. But after doing it for a certain amount of time, it becomes a habit, and then it becomes easy. So this tool is a very awesome tool of like, what should you do every single day? Well, I can't tell you the winning idea. That's for you to find, for you to create your brand, your blog, whatever it is that you want to test. But you do have my tool now. So when you have that idea, run the numbers in the calculator. That's instinctively, that's what you should do. That is what I do for every campaign I launch. And then that calculator is going to say, hey, this has legs. You should now take the next steps and try to build this and launch a campaign for it. Or it's going to be like, the numbers didn't work out, it's on to the next one. So I hope this calculator, this tool, and this philosophy changes the game for you, whether you are running ads or you're not, whether you're just starting out or whether you've been doing this for years. Because I was doing it for years and I never, ever even ran the numbers at the beginning. But now every single decision I make is all data-driven, validated, backed by data. And I think that's one of the most critical reasons why I'm so successful today and across multiple different industries and hundreds of different campaigns running as we speak. If you want to learn more from me, yes, I do have multiple courses for different levels. Make sure you check the links in the info box. I am sort of new to teaching business, although I'm a longtime teacher, except I used to teach dance. But I would love for you to take any course. Every single course has a 30-day money-back guarantee. I just want to make sure I'm helping people that they're actually getting the information they want. I understand there's a lot of courses out there. There's a lot of bad gurus out there. And so I'm trying to basically make a name for myself in a transparent way. But ask any question. I will do my best to answer it. Just keep in mind, I am getting flooded right now on TikTok. I seem to be going viral. And waking up with hundreds, if not thousands of messages each day, but I will try to do my best to respond. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. I hope this added value to your life and to your business, and we'll catch you in the next week's video. Peace and God bless.